Welcome to The Work of Warriors, a podcast dedicated to bringing mental wellness to the entertainment industry. My name is Kim Rapach, former therapist and now a trauma-informed entertainment and music industry coach. Together, we're creating a healthier industry one brave conversation at a time. And I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Mary.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for asking. So flattered.
Of course. I came across your TikTok, or you came across my TikTok, and you were talking about being a comedian, but then you were saying like, I had gotten out of this situation. Of course, I picked up on the adversity. Something you said that was profound is that you said, I got out, but I wasn't healing and I was just surviving. And that snippet caught my attention because I feel like that's so much of trauma recovery. People make it out of something and then they're just pushing through life trying to survive, but they're, angry and still struggling, still dysregulated. And I also think it's how a lot of people just do life in general.
Agreed.
Just hustle through and push the feelings down and don't ever really get the proper care for their nervous system and to heal their adversity or their trauma. And so that caught my attention, and that's why I reached out and just wanted to hear a little bit more on whatever you're willing to share. I'm interested to know what your experience is as a comedian, and then maybe what your wins have been in the entertainment industry.
You got it.
I like to start with wins.
Wins are a good way to start.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what has been your experience? How long have you been a comedian?
12 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how'd you get into it?
It was a fluke. I actually was trying to buy tickets to a comedy show for Jim Brewer, and the link kept taking me to Stand-Up 101 class. And I'm like, this is a brilliant glitch. And it was on Mary Street, and there were so many coincidences. And I was like, you know what? This is for me. And I was married at the time. And my husband was out of the home 2 or 3 nights a week. He was teaching. And I'm like, what am I doing sitting here by myself? Let me go do something. Let me go have some fun. Right. So I took the class, and lo and behold, I did great at the class, and I got booked right after the class, and we just kept going from there. I was very lucky. That's a big win for me. I never struggled getting a gig. I was picked up right away. I had a really, I was respected in the comedy community there. I was in Miami. It was, the win was I never really had to struggle to get stage time. The struggle was more internally with me. Like, do I want that stage time? Do I want all the things that go with getting that stage time? It was more a social activity for me than anything else. I never was like, I can't wait to be a comedian. I'm dreaming of being a comedian. It was not my life's dream. I just wanted to get out of the house, to be honest. This is what happened.
I just discovered you were actually good at it.
Yeah. I mean, people had told me my whole life that I should be a comedian. But Kim, you should know I'm the youngest of 14 kids.
Wow.
And you know what? I'm like, you know what? You're right. Nobody listened to me then. They're going to listen to me now. Give me a microphone.
Damn straight. Watch me now.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going to win. I'm louder. So.
Wow.
And that kind of groomed me to be a comedian, honestly. My first show, I probably had more people at our Thanksgiving dinner than my first show. So it's not hard for me to do public speaking. I was more nervous about my material going over and hitting.
Yeah. I think of, the youngest of 14. I used to mentor a little girl who was the youngest of 12. And she wasn't the youngest. She was one of 12. But, to be the youngest in a family that size, I mean, I know all that comes with that, and being conditioned to be the cute one, to be the easy one, to be the performer. And then you're, being resented because you're the babe. Like it's so complex in your family role, I'm sure.
Very complicated. Thankfully, I mean, I talk to probably 80% of my brothers and sisters every day. Some days the group chat is on fire, and I have to put the DND on that because everybody wants to voice their opinions. It's wild. I'm actually going away next month with my 6 sisters. We go away every year for Mother's Day for a week, and it's something I look forward to all year long. Whereas, 30 years ago, I'd be like, no, we're not. No, give me my sweater back.
Yeah.
But I enjoy every single one of my siblings' company.
That's amazing.
All very, very, very close.
Even when you said like 80% of my siblings, I've never heard anyone say it like
I
that's
know.
you have to have a lot of siblings to be able to say 80%.
It's so true. That's what the funny part. I didn't know that my life was funny until I started telling stories about growing up in 14. People are like, "What? Wait a minute. You did what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's normal for me. That's
Yeah.
not normal for you?"
Yeah, me and my 6 sisters are going away for the week.
I know. It's gonna be
Wow.
wild, but yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
very close with
love
them.
that. I
The other
love that
win,
you
honestly, I survived. I get up every day and I'm like, "Really? Another chance?" I am shocked and amazed every day I get another opportunity to live this life because I was reckless, I was careless, I was abusing anything I could get my hands on, mostly abusing myself, and I am just happy I made it out alive. That is the biggest win for me, honestly.
Yeah, good for you.
Mhm.
When was that? Was that as you were working as a comedian or before? Like, what was the timeline?
I was quite a reckless younger person. I did not get married until later on in life, and I didn't become a comedian until after I got married. And that was actually what ended my marriage was
Mm,
me being a comedian. And it's okay. And I was just very, very reckless in my comedy years after my marriage ended, right? So I went through a lot of coaches. I went through a lot of training. I went through a lot of nervous system regulation. I worked with professionals because I knew I wasn't going to survive this life if I didn't learn how to do those things.
wow.
I completely embrace the notion of self-care.
Sure. What was the turning point?
I got very sick. COVID actually was what world stopped and I actually had to sit down and be like, "Ew, do I like myself?" Like things got real quiet. I lost all 3 of my jobs in one day. I worked at a bar, I worked at a company that stretches people, and I did comedy, and all those things closed down. And I was like, "Huh." And in that quiet and in that solitude, I realized I did not like where I was headed. I realized that I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna end up dead if I continue on this trajectory. So many, many things happened in between that realization and where I am now. And I'm super, I wake up every day with just a heart full of gratitude and I name things that I'm grateful for every day. And I came clean to all the people that I lied to about my drug and alcohol use. And I realized who my friends were. And I realized how to be connected and not attached. And I've done a lot of growing. I'm crying.
Mhm.
Because I've never it's the most proudest thing I've ever done.
Yeah. Well, good job fighting for you. Because you know what? Not everybody makes it out. We know
No,
that.
and just allowing myself to love myself and not feel like I have to be. I equated my worth with my accomplishments my whole life, and to be able to understand that I'm worth everything, whether I do anything or not, was
Amen.
the biggest realization for me. It made me a much softer person. I wrote a keynote calling, like, "From loving heels to loving heels," like, high
Mm.
heels to loving heels, and from hard work to heart work, because I've always been a workhorse, and I you don't have to do it like that.
Yeah, yeah, and we're so conditioned to do it that way. It's rewarded. We wear busyness as a badge of honor. We wear, awards as badges of honor, and we know we've seen so many people in the world, but especially those in the public, you know, um, industry, and entertainment industry, where someone can have everything. The spouse, the cars, the house, the fame, the celebrity,
And
that,
happiness.
they can have all these things and we still lose them to addiction or
Yes,
suicide.
exactly. Absolutely, and, the comedy world, I feel, is especially vulnerable to all of these things. We are up there exposing our most broken pieces of ourselves, eh, in an attempt to be relevant and have people forget about their crap in their life. And for the real hardcore comedians, that writing process can tear you apart and then build you back up and then tear you apart and build you back up. And it's such an art form. It was 10 years. I'm actually been a comedian 16 years now. I did the math wrong. It was 10 years before I would even call myself a professional comedian because I had such reverence for comedy because it's the only honest art form out there. It's the It's the only honest thing alive, in my opinion. The only people that aren't honest are the comedians telling the jokes. We're not honest with ourselves. But we see the world in a different way, you know? We always
Yeah.
find the back door to get to a joke. We reverse psychology and reverse engineer everything so we can make a good punchline, and it really is quite an art form. So I really do respect the art. I just know the art was trying to kill me,
Hmm.
actually, for years.
Yeah. What were your we talked about your wins. What were your lessons in the entertainment industry? What were
Not
your biggest
everybody's your
lessons?
friend. You know, the comedians that are sober and the comedians that look at this like a business really do well. They're not there to make friends. They're there to go up and tell their jokes and hone their craft and cut the fat and set up punch, and then they're going home to their what? We don't know if they're married. We don't know if they have kids. We don't know where they live. We don't know anything about them. It taught me that privacy is golden. Not everybody needs to know, and not everybody can come, right? So I learned honestly, comedy taught me that I have value beyond my jokes, beyond what I can do for people. Comedy taught me that, you know, I was crowned the queen of mean at one point, and which I thought was really funny for a minute. And then I was like, oh God, that's not good. Because, you know, I was roasting I was roasting a lot of people. I did a lot of open mics. I ran a lot of open mics, and I would just roast the comedians that were getting off the stage, and they're like they loved it, though. I gave them good advice, but I know that I was mean, and if somebody was mean to me as I was to them, I would probably have quit, which I actually encourage them all to quit every night. Please stop.
Quit while you're ahead.
No, I don't want any more competition, just quit. And I mean, Marcelo Hernandez went to all of my open mics.
Really?
He's killing it on SNL right now.
Yeah, he is.
You know,
Yeah.
Forrest Shaw opening up for Jim Jeffries. You know, I've had 10, 15 good friends that are on Jimmy Fallon every year that are just, I'm so impressed by them.
Yeah.
They're really doing well. But these people, they made it a business. They got
Yeah.
sober. They have a life outside of comedy. You know, this is business, not
Yeah.
personal.
Yeah. It's so hard to separate the 2 in a world, in an industry that, just glorifies drugs and alcohol and partying and, nefarious behavior, if you will. And
It's
it
a great
just
recipe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a recipe for disaster, and it's like so many people wanna play in it and hope, it's like Russian roulette, like, some people, it's not gonna take them out, but you don't know who. You don't know if
Yeah.
you're one that, that's gonna hit you differently and you're gonna wake up addicted. You just don't know.
Well,
So
I realized I've been just trading addictions my whole life. You know, it was drugs or it was drinking, it was smoking, it was working, it was comedy, it was, you know, building businesses. And now the lesson is I'm addicted to myself now. I'm addicted to my care. I'm addicted to my health. I'm addicted to my happiness. I'm addicted to my small circle that's getting smaller every day. I'm addicted to listening.
yeah, I love
I'm
that.
addicted to giving people the space and the trust to be able to speak to me and tell me things that they probably don't tell other people. I read an article about a therapist out in Hollywood who opened up shop next to the Laugh Factory. It was after so many comedians were committing suicide.
Mhm.
And I thought that was just brilliant because we don't think we need help because we're funny.
Yeah.
How can you be
Yeah.
sad? You're funny.
Other people think you're fine
Yeah,
because you're funny.
because we're up here pretending we're fine and being funny. You know, I was on antidepressants for years and years and years and drank and did drugs the entire time. I didn't even give them a chance. I never gave myself a chance
Yeah.
to really learn who I was, you know? So I'm grateful for COVID. I'm grateful for a pandemic that let me sit down and really take stock of where I was and what I wanted to do. And, you know, I've dedicated my life now to I have a company, I have a Fresh Start, which is all about women empowerment and people that are starting over. I have a radio show that is all about getting to know who you are, because when you don't know who you are, you just make the same mistakes over and over and over again, and they're not fun, you know. And I thank God for my therapist. every day. I had 4 of them at one time, but it wasn't like going laying on a couch therapy. I had a therapist that taught me how to meditate. I had a therapist that taught me how to do yoga. I had a therapist that taught me how to paint, all sorts of therapy. I had a therapist that had me riding horses, things that I probably would have never done anyway.
Sure. Sure.
So I think that's a beautiful thing, and it's okay to be soft, and it's okay to let people in, and it's okay to fail, and I learned so many things.
What does Brene Brown say? I think she says soft front, strong back.
Yeah, she's great. I mean, she's got so
Yeah.
many great little quotes, and I didn't understand the art of vulnerability. I didn't understand, like, the things she was talking about, and I'm like, "Ew, I don't wanna crack myself open and let anybody in there." Like, who's gonna love these deep, oogie parts of me that are gross? I don't even like them, you know? I had a moment the other day where I was, like, spinning out about something. I had a very bad car accident 5 years ago and spent every penny I had on recovery because the woman that hit me had no insurance and was no help, right? So, COVID, car accident, hip replacement, recovery, lost my job, lost my home, lost all the things because I had no income. I spent all of my savings on recovery. And I finally got a credit card like 4 months ago, right? And I'm super psyched and I buy this beautiful purse, this beautiful chocolate suede purse, which was like it was $90, which back in the day, I would drop $300-400 on a bag and not think about it, but now $90 is a lot of money to me. And 2 weeks later, it broke, and I bring it back to the store, and they're like, "We can't take it back." And I was so upset, "Where's the receipts? Where's the tags? Where's all these things?" And by the time I got from Marshalls to home, I had berated myself. "This is why you can't have nice things. This is why you can't buy anything. This is why you don't deserve anything. How could you be so stupid to throw out those receipts? How could you be so dumb?" And it took me back to when I was 6 years old, and a parent said that to me. And this is how I want people to know how deep these ridges run in our brains, how deep they run. And it's not just, it doesn't bother me. That that doesn't work saying, I don't let it bother me because it manifests itself in so many hideous ways. And I'm going to tell you, it was just a beautiful thing for me to be able to acknowledge what I was going through, to sit in what I was going through and accept like, wow, Mary, you are not a bad person. You're not the reason we couldn't have nice things. Maybe because there was 13 other friggin' kids there, but, like,
Right.
you know, it was just a beautiful moment that's taken me 57 years to get to.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's everything. And that's, what you're describing is not just, I think nervous system regulation is becoming more and more popular and spoken about. But what you're describing and what I do in my coaching is nervous system healing. When
Yeah,
you understand the roots of where those through lines come from, and you can go back and look at that 6-year-old and realize what was said or done to her and be committed to self-love and be committed to healing and be committed to going, "Oh, that will never happen on my watch again." Right? And that is now your work, and you have a roadmap for, what somatic tools to use. You put it all together, it becomes this beautiful healing puzzle where now you catch that inner critic. You're like, "Oh, no, 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 we don't do that anymore.
yep,
No, we don't. I don't talk to myself like that.
no,
Never. I promise never again. I'm going to
we
have to
all have
find
to
another
stop
option."
criticizing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I'm going to have to find another option because I don't talk to myself that way.
No, we have to stop criticizing ourselves and others above all things.
Yeah.
It just has to stop,
Yeah.
It just has to be done. I talk to that little 6-year-old girl every day and I go, "Don't worry, I got you."
I love that so much. Inner child work. Oh my gosh, saved my life.
I
Me
bet,
too.
right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
make me cry, Kim. We just
Yeah.
met.
Crying is good. We're all about the crying around here. Let
Yeah,
it out. That's what
yeah,
that's how it goes. That's what I think most people are afraid of, Mary,
yes,
is people don't want to cry because I mean, how many times I have heard as a former therapist, now a coach, someone saying, "I don't want to cry because I'm afraid it'll never stop."
yes,
It is like a universal fear. I'm afraid
yes,
it will never stop. Or what you said earlier, who's going to love these parts of me? I don't even like them. And so it keeps people imprisoned to their own story
yeah,
and to their own inner critic and to their own shame. And
yeah,
it's so devastating to me.
I mean, look at us. I don't know how old you are, but man, did I think I was gonna be approaching 60. My birthday's on Saturday, and, like, figuring it out, taking that many years to figure out, like, it's okay to be we're all, like, broken. Everybody's got their ish. We're all, like, have hangups. But to figure out those triggers and when those things tick and what's going to tick them and what's going to fight them off and how you're going to beat them back. And it's all through the art of self care. I 100% believe that. And I'm not talking your grandma's self care. I'm not talking manicures and massages, although they're nice. I'm talking about boundaries, and I'm talking about nutrition, and I'm talking about anything that's consumable, from the air to the TV to the people you're hanging out with,
To
you
the
know,
phone.
everything, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people are like, "Oh, my eyes are so blurry." I'm like, "Well, you've been staring at that screen, like, for literally for 12 hours. What do you think is gonna happen?
Right.
You go outside and sit
Exactly.
next to a tree for a minute."
Yeah.
I just think that it's now I'm in such a space where, I've healed physically from all the trauma that I've had, emotionally, mentally, in the best shape of my life. And I finally feel I'm at the place again where I can help other people, and I want nothing more than to give back.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. You asked me how old I am. I am 54. I'll be 55 this year. And I will say I spent decades of my life with crippling anxiety, medical anxiety, depression, PTSD. Oh, that's okay. You got a dog?
It's 2 of them.
Hey.
One's choking on a nylabone.
Well, if my listeners don't like dogs, they can
Yeah,
just move on.
exactly. And you said, "Steve, continue, please." I'm very interested in hearing where you came from, how you got here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up, I had a lot of trauma, experienced all the big T traumas as a kid, substance abuse, sexual abuse, domestic violence. I mean, all of it. And to no surprise, I grew up and became the helper. I became a therapist and I loved it. And I was really good at it because I was conditioned to be really good at it.
You
I
can't there's
was
no choice.
trained. Yeah, I was trained by life. And then I just went to school to put the cherry on top.
Yeah.
But, it wasn't again, it was COVID where I really hit a dark night of the soul. Like, my husband and I had a conflict, a friend said something that triggered the crap out of me, and I was beside myself. And it's because everything had been building and building and building, and I was like, "Nope, I'm fine. I'm a therapist. I got this. I do my self-care. I got my little list I go through." And there was just no fighting it anymore, and I really was the closest to suicide I have ever felt. And
Man.
it was really terrifying, and like you, made a decision because I knew, like, I need to change something or I'm going to die. I don't want to be here, and I don't feel this way anymore since I've had so much nervous system healing, but back then, I mean, like, in my darkest hours, I believed that people would be better off without me. It was just when things got really dark, that's what I believed. I have not felt that way since
Thank
in a
God.
very long time, but I really believe it is from healing my nervous system and understanding where that shame came from.
For sure.
Because as I look back, I had no identity if I wasn't helping someone. And so during COVID, former clients came out of the woodwork. Everybody needed help. I couldn't go to the office. It was back to back to back to back session on a screen, and then everybody having different opinions about COVID and about other things that were happening in the world. And
Yeah.
it just became too much. And I just, kind of had a come to Jesus meeting with my husband and said, "I'm taking care of me. Things are going to change and you can either come with me or not, but no more am I staying here." And my mom lived with us at the time, who was, somewhat dependent on me. And I was like, all of you need to figure it out. And then there in came the boundaries. And I will say, fast forward 5 years, I sold my practice, became a coach with the very tools that saved my life. But like when you heal your nervous system, you have so much freaking clarity.
Oh my goodness. No
Like,
kidding.
things are just easier. And I'm like, yes, no. I never understood trust your gut. And I'm like, what? I don't trust myself. I trust myself the least,
Right.
but not anymore. I
Right.
trust myself the most. And
Yeah. We got
things
the
are just
answers. We
clear
hold the
and
keys.
yeah.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah, and it's emotional freedom. It doesn't mean that every day is easy. It
No.
doesn't mean that adversity doesn't still happen and things don't, actually, I think that's why you came across my TikTok maybe. I don't know if you had a hip replacement because I was posting about my recent knee surgery.
Oh,
So I
okay.
don't know if maybe our lines
I
crossed
don't
there. I'm
know.
not sure. But yeah, it's just so much more clarity and just ease. And decisions are easier,
Yes.
relationships are easier,
Yeah.
or they go away. If they're not easy, they go away.
Yeah, they weed themselves out now, it's a hell of a thing, not like I said, not everybody can come. And I find that if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no.
Absolutely.
And the clarity that does come with this work is absolutely mind-blowing to me. It actually made room for me to have better thoughts and more thorough thoughts. It answered the questions get answered on their own. And I love that. And even, of course, it's not about the adversity has been taken out of your life, but it taught me how to respond and not react. I can take a minute, take a breath, and I can sit in it. There's no urgency for me to, I got to do it right now. I got to figure it out. I don't work in that space anymore. And I don't thrive in that space. Before, I used to force myself to thrive in that chaotic, constantly moving, overbooked, overscheduled, underappreciated, super resentful. That was my wheelhouse. And
Same.
it's like unbecoming used to be this word that was an insult. Well, I don't think so. I am unbecoming every day. I'm unbecoming all those versions of me that believed that that was the way life is supposed to be.
Yeah. Keep going.
Right on, girl. Let's do this.
I host women's retreats
I
where we
saw
do,
that.
yeah,
I
where
saw
we,
that thing. Oh my goodness. So cool.
and
It was really cool.
our first one, everyone just kept saying KFG, just keep fucking going, keep
Yeah.
fucking, and now that's what we say to each other all the time.
I
Like,
love that.
this is scary.
We're getting buttons made.
Yeah, this is scary. Okay, you stay out of your head and you keep doing what you know to do. You keep showing up. You just keep fucking going.
Yeah.
You keep
You know
drinking
why?
your water. You keep walking. You keep taking care of yourself. You keep focusing on your rest. You keep saying no. You keep having boundaries. You keep going.
Yep.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Absolutely. Getting centered, getting grounded. If you would have talked to me about these things 15 years ago, I would have been like, you're insane. Please don't sit next to me. And now it's the only thing I want to talk about.
Same,
If you're
same,
not talking about it, get away from me.
same. Yeah, I would be like, no, that doesn't work for me. I'm too busy. Time to breathe. What are you talking about? I can't breathe. So I totally, but you talked about thriving in that chaos. For me, I mean, that's what I grew up in. I did thrive in chaos.
It's all we knew.
That was my jam. I was good at it. I was good at serving everybody and taking care of myself last until
If
it
ever.
nearly killed me. Yeah.
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 Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do believe that the art of self-care, first of all, I thought self-care was for wealthy people when I was a child. I was like, that's not for me. That's for other people. We don't do self-care here at
Yeah.
the bottom of the food chain of 14 children. This is
Yeah.
not for me.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna go mow the lawn and sweep the stairs again.
Yeah.
And it does not come naturally to me. That's why I practice it just like a doctor would practice. I practice my self-care every day, and
Yes.
I have to I mean, you were in depression, you were in PTSD. What do we do? Like, I'm not gonna take a shower. I'm not gonna brush my teeth. I'm not gonna care. I'm gonna let my outside, my body fall apart just to match the inside. Let it go. So I have to make myself a checklist every day to this is all the things you're going to do and at night. Now I rush home literally every night to get my pajamas on and to put my hair back and to do my skincare and to like sit on the couch with my dogs. For my birthday, I'm getting an oil change and going to a farmer's market. We're not going to the dealer. We're not going to the liquor store.
That's right. That's right. I love it.
Yes.
I mean, there was a point where, I mean, because I have so much physical trauma, like, tell me I need to go get a pedicure or a massage. No, nobody's touching me. No. Like
Good.
self care, no. If it requires somebody touching me and even slowing down just to, like I said, just to breathe, it's just too painful. And so much of nervous system healing is the ability to come back to present, the ability to regulate and come back to what is real. Because for me with anxiety, I was very good at worst case scenarios.
You're spinning it.
Oh, yeah, I could tell you, someone said, "What's the worst that could happen?" I'm like, "I am not the one to ask because I have a lot of answers."
You'd be so
I've been
surprised.
waiting for someone to ask me that my whole life. Don't
And
ask
like
me what's
now,
the worst that could happen.
I like just find myself at things that really would have triggered me and sent me off the planet. I honestly just laugh at it and
Yeah,
I giggle
yeah,
at it like, oh,
yeah,
I can't believe I used to let this upset me. Who cares?
yeah, yeah,
Literally, who cares?
exactly.
I don't care.
I am
Like I said,
encouraged.
all I care about is waking up every day, being able to be a contributing member of society, and I try to help somebody every day. And some days it's just me
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, what is your why for why you do everything that you do every day?
because I really wish I had someone like me when I was 18 years old and had zero guidance and was really feral and just raised by wolves and out there doing my own thing, making the worst choices in the world and not choosing myself, not choosing safe places, not choosing safe or healthy things for myself. You know, if I can catch some girl going through it and help her, save her some time and some peace of mind and tell her
Yeah.
how much she is loved and appreciated and she does not have to live like that. That's what I want to do. And I wasn't, suicidal. It's funny. My therapist is like, "Are you suicidal?" I'm like, "I'm not going to say yes because you're going to like send somebody over here." But I don't wanna
I may be suicidal, but I'm also very smart.
but it's not that I didn't want to harm myself, but I wouldn't mind not being here anymore.
Yeah.
Like if a truck came and took me out, or I got hit by a train or a plane fell from the sky, like, okay,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind not being here.
Yeah.
And now every day I think about all the things I want to do and oh my God, am I going to have enough time to do it? And
Same.
how many years? I don't think about how many years I have left. I just be like, let's make the most of this day. We're not going to get this day back. I think of all the days I used to lament all the days I wasted being wasted.
Yeah.
And I stopped beating myself up for that. And I just, do the best I can today.
Yeah.
You
Like
know,
with
and
anything, it just takes as much time as it takes.
yeah,
Just trust
yes,
the process. Where you are right where you are supposed to be at every given moment.
I believe that. And if
Yeah.
I can help a younger version of myself make a better choice, I want to be available for that.
What's that quote? If you live through a mess, you're qualified to be a messenger.
Yep.
Yeah, we're the messengers. You made a great point. You talked about how you force yourself, you make yourself do your self-care every day and you have a list. I literally have a list on my phone called the damn thing. And it's got little check boxes and it's my routine.
Do the
And
damn
it's
thing.
supplements, vitamins, water, step in the grass, light lamp in the winter, essential oils. And then there's a list of things like, hey, if you're feeling not yourself, try some of these extras, you know, call somebody, text this person. And
Yes.
it's just because sometimes you don't know. And I think the more trauma people have and the less voice that they don't know that that's even an option. And so to have a list and go, okay, here's what I need to do every day.
And it's
Just
okay to
like
do it.
I think it's a necessity.
And you have permission to do it. That's what I'm like, because self care just was not natural for me. I felt
Yeah.
it was very awkward and uncomfortable for me to be washing my face every night, putting cream on
Yeah.
my face every night. What are you crazy? That's
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
But I have permission to care for myself without caring for anybody else.
Yeah. Isn't that powerful?
So honestly, if that's my why, it's to give people permission.
Hmm. I love that. So you're doing radio
Yes.
and what else did you say you're doing?
I'm actually working on a whole web page, a whole business. I taught a 6-week class called The Art of Self-Care, and I
Mm.
had the audacity to teach it when I was neglecting myself the most. And it's a beautiful course. It changed my life. Somebody taught it to me. It
Mhm.
changed my life. I just did not implement all the things. And then she retired and actually gave me all of her classes to teach. And she did that 5 years ago. This was right before all the things happened, and I just never felt qualified. I never felt like, strong enough to do it, and now I do. So, I'm getting back into teaching my 6-week self-care course. I have a website full of free resources for people that want to do shadow work, that want to do self-care journaling, that want to do all the things. And of course, I have a 7-day reset. Like I'm just into it. I'm into however I can motivate people to do it.
How can people find you?
You can find me at it's Mantrapreneur, like entrepreneur with mantra.
Yeah, I love that.
Com, and you can find me on TikTok, of course. And there's Oh My Girl Media is my company. So ohmygirlmedia.com is my website. And you can get a hold of me there. You can radio show, you can do my 5-day reset, you can join the challenge. You can talk about, I have a private space for people. It's called Name Him Please, where people can go tell their story about abuse and domestic violence, and they can say whatever they want about whoever they want in a
I think
private
I
space,
saw that.
and they can
Yeah,
say it anonymously. And I have a little Discord in there where people can get together and talk about it. But the most important thing is there is hundreds of resources on there for crisis hotlines, legal aid, financial help for women that are going through it. And
that's
that's what I really
incredible.
want them to take advantage of.
Yeah. Do you have experience with or lived experience with domestic violence?
Not domestic violence, but definitely abuse, sexual abuse. And I'm so grateful for the people that got me through that period of my life where it didn't make me feel I wasn't ashamed of it. I realized immediately that I didn't deserve that. I didn't ask for it. It wasn't my fault. I had no control. I had no power at that time. I'm really happy that I came out on the other side of that without it really hurting my life too much. So having those resources, I didn't have those resources. I actually had a circle of people around me that helped me through it. But I think those resources, there's people that don't have anybody, that
Yeah.
have no one to tell, no
Yeah.
one to ask them, "Do you need some help?" And I wanna be there. I just wanna help them. Everybody deserves a chance. Everybody deserves a second, third, fourth, fifth chance if you wanna do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. And we kind of started talking about this at the beginning, but a lot of people have overcome adversity, but haven't done the healing, right?
Yeah.
They've survived. And what I love about what you're saying, Mary, is, usually when people say, I just want to help, I'm like, help yourself first,
Yeah.
please. Because that's my experience, right? Like, you'll be a far better help to other people if you help yourself first, but that, like, literally is what you're doing, and your help comes from a place that's rooted in integrity and rooted in your own self-care and your own process and making yourself a priority, and oh, I have goosebumps. That's, like, the true gift to the world
With
is
no excuses
yeah,
and no apologies.
yeah,
None.
yeah,
I'm gonna help myself. We're the only people that can help ourselves. And things will come to you, but, God, I don't know if you're religious, but God wants to find you working.
yeah,
You can't just sit there and be like, "Oh, well, you gotta make the move. You gotta take action. Action is the answer." I don't feel like happiness is the opposite of depression. I feel like purpose is the opposite of depression, and everybody's got it. And
yeah.
you've got to do the work to figure out what it is.
I love that you said action. It's everything. We're talking about people who are afraid to cry, afraid to grieve, afraid, nobody will love them. Take a step. In the addiction world, in AA in the rooms, they'll say the only thing you have to do by yourself is walk in the room. We got you from there.
Yes,
And that's what most of us who want to help, it's the same. It's like you just have to raise your hand. We're here.
100%. I feel that I don't have the problem thinking who's gonna love me, because I don't care. I love myself so much. I am not worried about another person. I don't need anybody to give me that love anymore. I don't need anybody to give me any of those things. I can give it to myself. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
They're being dogs. I cannot,
Yeah,
I can't be mad
they're
at them.
dogs. That's right. They're doing their job. They're guarding you. They're doing their job.
So, self-love.
Or maybe they were just saying, "We love you."
Yeah, they
What are you
do.
talking
They
about?
do. They love the best love ever, right?
Right.
We don't deserve dogs. They're the best.
Seriously.
So that's where I am today, because everybody, are you going to date and you're going to do this? And I'm like, honestly, every relationship I've had has left me broken, either emotionally, physically, or financially. And I'm like, I'm okay. Let me hang with myself for a minute. and work on the things that I want to work on. I'm very committed. I'm very passionate. I'm very dedicated to making the world a better place. And I don't care how hooey that sounds. I am 100% committed to that every day.
I love that so much. And, there's a previous version of you, I'm sure, like myself, that thought that someone else's love would validate your worthiness, just like work and career and success and money and all the things that don't. And now you're a different version of yourself.
But yeah. And then rejection, of course, took it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about me rejecting myself. I'm cool. Like, so my worth was in somebody else's hands, and I'm never going to make that mistake again.
I love that.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you for having this conversation with me. There's so many times where I've complained about social media and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, every time I meet somebody like you, I'm like, thank God for social media.
Yeah.
This is
Look,
so
there's
amazing.
so much grossness on there too.
Yeah.
And people really do not understand how the algorithm works. I'm like, if you don't like it, why are you stop commenting? One,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just going to come back
Yeah.
and pop up on your page again. So like, you know, cut your losses, learn how to let go, just scroll by. People that are intentionally cruel and mean don't have a place in my life, don't have a place in my head, I don't have air for them. I give them no air. I think that we are all here. We are all connected. I don't care who you voted for. We are in this collective together, whether we like it or not. And why not do good? Like you said before, always go into that worst case scenario. And I'm like, well, you can train your brain to go to the best case scenario anytime you want, right? Like, but you've got to really come to a realization in your soul to get to that space where you can think good things are happening. And I do think good things are happening.
I do too.
I have a different ticker tape in my head now, and I think it's working. It's all in my orbit.
Yeah.
I just got to reach out and grab it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have that power.
For sure. We all do.
Everybody has it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes, unfortunately, and I was there for a period of my life, but I think sometimes we get a lot out of being the victim
God, yeah. No,
from
they get,
projecting,
yes.
blaming other people
Yeah.
because it lets us off the hook. And now we don't have to do our work and we don't have to take action because this person is just so foul and they did it. They broke me.
That's the payoff.
Yeah. But man, the payoff is better when you're on this side of it, I promise.
God, yeah. Yeah.
Anybody who's wrestling with that, it's so much better on this side.
And anybody that is going through it, I just, they say it's always darkest before that breakthrough. And I am going to agree with that because just want you to don't give up. Just don't give up and believe, that you can always find the help that you need. You can always find the support that you need. There's always going to be somebody. I do believe that there's always going to, and maybe it's because I haven't been in a room by myself since I was born. Not even the bathroom, but like I do really, I come across people every day, almost every day, that like people will walk across the grocery store to me and they're like, "Hi." And I immediately know that there's something happening with them. They were brought to me for a reason. And even if the cashier or the crossing guard or even the guy that held the elevator for me, like I am interested in your story. Tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I felt when you came across my TikTok. It was
Yeah.
just this little snippet when you were like, I wasn't healing. I got out, but I wasn't healing. And I was like, she knows what's up.
Yeah.
She has a story to tell.
And it's
Yeah.
it is, but it's good work. It is work. It was, my first couple of breath work sessions, man, I was like, I don't ever want to do that again. Cause it was so many emotions. And there was times when I did like chakra healing and I got super overstimulated. And I swear I thought I was up for like 2 days. And there's a lot, there's a lot of people out there doing a lot of things. And although there's so many people that are out there to help, the first person that can help you is yourself. You've got, neuroplasticity plays a big part in my life. I've had to put new grooves in this matted brain of mine every single day so I don't go back to that person that talks shit about themselves.
And there are a lot of people doing a lot of things, but I feel like the percentage of the population who does life like we are doing it so intentionally and so step by step and so self-focused in a healthy way is a very small percentage. I had a
Everybody's everybody's asleep.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend, a dear friend of mine, she actually co-facilitates the retreats with me, and we were talking and, we were talking about systems and toxic systems, and she's like, "Where are the people?" And I'm like, "Girl, there are about 4 people on the planet who wanna do life like we do, and we are 2 of them, and the other ones are Elizabeth Gilbert and Gabor Mate." Just throwing out these
Love him.
names.
I love him.
But it's a small percentage who are really dialed in that meticulously into their own life, but I really think those are the change makers because we are the
Yes.
ones who can see the collective chaos without becoming chaotic. And other people don't understand. They misread it like you don't care, you're not using your platform, whatever. And it's like, no, I just will not become chaos for
Yes.
anyone
You know,
ever again.
observing rather than absorbing
Mhm.
was a big step for me. I became every man I dated, I became their life. Every person I was with, I became what they were doing. It was never about me being the priority or the primary. It was me just melding into I shapeshifted into whatever I had to be to get through that moment in my life to feel safe, you know? Safety's overrated when you're going through that. You gotta let it out. You can't play it safe all the time. I feel safe in different ways now. I feel safe in my own body, whereas I never did before.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Gabor Mate, oh my gosh.
I know, I love him.
I could
He's
listen, I
amazing.
put him on at night because his voice just like
Yeah.
my little lullaby,
Yeah. Yeah, for
you
sure.
know? And I feel I don't wanna drag anybody kicking and screaming into this healing thing either. I
Yeah.
am not here to change anyone.
Well, you can't do it, it won't land until you're ready anyway.
Right. I'm just here to show you a different way and maybe some options that you weren't aware of, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Because we know.
and my thing is always we do heal. We do. If you're willing, it's possible.
Yeah. Some people don't wanna let go of the drugs, they don't wanna let go of the drinking, they don't wanna let go of the forget narcissism. I can't work with them. So one thing I draw the line at, I'm like, "No, man, you're go."
We'll save the narcissist for Dr. Rami. She's great. She's the go-to.
Okay.
We'll leave him for her. What did she her recent book is It's Not You or It's Not About You, and that's her specialty, so
Okay, I love that.
I don't wanna pick that one up either.
I'm always saying it's not me, it's you. So it is. And then, the Taylor Swift song, I am always like, it is me that I am the problem. When you realize that you're the crazy maker, you're the problem, you're the one in your own way, when you get to that point where you can actually say those things and be like, oh my gosh, it is me. I am the brick. I am the block. That is when some real shit goes down. When you realize that you're the only one that can change it and you're the one that created it. Oh my gosh, the
Yeah.
world opens up and there's nothing you can't do.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think people are afraid of the shame that comes with that, but if you're committed to like, "I'm gonna meet this without shame. I'm gonna meet this with the most compassion I've ever had, and
Well,
whatever comes up, I am committed to being there on the other side, just
yes,
waiting to show
yes,
up with love and
yes.
compassion and understanding and kindness." Like you said, there isn't anything you can't do.
Yeah, I think action with radical empathy is there's no stopping you.
Yeah. Yep. Action with radical empathy. Yep. That's the golden ticket right there.
Took me a
Yeah.
long time to get there. And
Yeah.
I still work at it every day.
Well, and that's why we've created spaces to save, like you said, save people time, right? Like I
Yeah.
created a whole retreat with what saved my life. Like, let me
Yeah.
save you some time.
And
Like,
it attracted me to you and you to me. And here we are connected. And I feel like every day I meet some cool person that I'm like, yeah, man, I want to party with you, cowboy.
yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. And now I know another person who speaks the same language,
Yes.
who does life the same way. Again, not that we have to agree on everything, not that we have to think the same way, but how we are living so intentionally, because that's, I think, what creates peace in the world.
Yes. That's that's all I want.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for stepping in that and leading in that and being at the forefront, because it's not easy and people often misunderstand and they want what you have without doing the work. Like,
Yeah.
just one step at a time, keep
Yeah.
going.
Well, we quit over explaining years ago, right? It's okay. If it's like a joke. If you got to explain the joke, it's not funny.
It's
If I
not
got to
funny.
explain it to you, you're not going to get it.
Right, right, right. You don't understand anyway. It's totally fine. My goodness. Thank you, Mary, again for being here. And I'm just so glad you just came across my social media. And I'm so glad that we
Same.
met. And thank you for making time to have this conversation. Everything that you're doing, I just respect and love so much. And I would just say keep going and keep being the light and, just be the lighthouse and people will find you. And yeah, I look forward to keeping in touch.
Likewise, Kim, you are a light in the world yourself. And I see you out there doing the work and helping people and doing nothing but adding and not subtracting from anything. And I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So proud to know you. I'm so happy to know you. I'm so
Well,
grateful
likewise.
you are now in my circle. We talked about how it's easy to lose people along the way, and I think there's just something really special when there's somebody added back in at this stage of life, at this stage of the journey. So,
Yes, it's
thank you.
possible. Oh, me, thank you so much. I'm so grateful.
All right. Well, best of luck and best wishes to all that you're doing and the lives that you're impacting. And I look forward to following along, and I look forward to keeping in touch. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon, I'm sure.
You got it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mary. When artists are well, everybody wins. If today's conversation resonated with you, head over to kimrapach.com where you'll find tools and resources to support your mental wellness journey. For questions about private coaching, speaking engagements, or being a guest on the podcast, email me directly at kim@kimrapach.com. Together, we can create better conversations, a healthier industry, and a happier you.